And now we're going to be talking about personal development for entrepreneurs. Because if you are an entrepreneur, you are likely going to want to know this. I should just read. Personal development for entrepreneurs. What is personal development? What is being developed? And how is this personal effort making you more money? So when we talk about decoding human behavior, what we really need to find out first and understand is what is the behavior that we're actually decoding. Because in my work, it is all about to get us towards living the life of our dreams. I wanted that for a long time, and I realized after I was there, I'm like, that's a pretty simple life. But it took like a lot of figuring out and going through complexity for me to get to where my life is simple and where I'm actually living the life of my dreams. And I can tell you a lot of that really is a process of simplification. It's a process of action taking and cleaning up is going to be a big part of it. And so oftentimes, our life generally changes through taking action, all right? And so we take the action and we go forward. And once we do, and when we do, we realize that life becomes very, very, very rewarding for us when we actually do have the courage and we go forward to start taking the action and live the life of our dreams. But oftentimes either we take actions that we don't want to take, or we do not take the actions that we do want to take. And the question is, why is that? What is behind that? What is the reason for that? Because in order to change behavior successfully, we do not need to look at the behavior and try to change that, although it seems obvious, but life is not always so simple. It's deeper than that. It goes more behind the surface, behind the curtain. And what is behind the curtain is a certain reason of why this behavior happens. And that needs to be addressed. What is the behavior giving you? Essentially, what is the effect of this behavior that is beneficial to you? Because every behavior has a positive effect. Even if the behavior is destructive in nature, well, I mean, you know that slamming heroin feels good and it cures all of your desire and like your anxiety and your fear, everything instantly. So it is beneficial for you. I mean, it's not, but like, it kind of is. So that's why we want to understand, what is it giving you? Because once we understand what is giving you, then we can do proper therapy with the person and proper rehabilitation, where we know, okay, what exactly is it that is so frightening and so anxiety provoking and makes life feel so cold and horrible and unbearable that you need that to give you the joy that you otherwise cannot find. That's really what we need to see. What is affecting that? And then how do we align our actions, change our actions, what we do, our habits, our mannerisms, our behaviors, our posture, how we carry ourselves, and how we speak to ourselves in our own mind, and what are the words that we are uttering with which we are consistently speaking our life into existence. What are these actions that we take, that we need to take? And then what's the behavior behind that? So let me give you an example. Let's say we're working with somebody who deals with overeating at nighttime, right? Let's take this excellent example. And there can be many reasons for that behavior. Well, what are those? Great question. So let's explore that. And while I'm explaining that, you're going to pay attention and see how that relates to your own life. So somebody who's overeating might overeat because it is after the overeating has occurred, it is making the person be very angry towards themselves. And so it has a benefit to it. So it could be that the stuck emotion of anger just needs to be released. If that is the case, that it basically alleviates some emotional charges, then we need to find out why is it getting stuck in the first place. And very likely then we find some beliefs that are preventing the natural expression and the natural feeling of anger, that it needs to come out in an unhealthy way. Because here's what's also true. If you don't let your emotions flow, they will come out in unhealthy ways. They will make you flow. They will make you run, right? If you don't let them flow, they will make you run. So if you run from emotions and you don't let them flow, they will make you run, because you can only run away from them so far. At some point, the fluctuation of life is going to sweep you back towards facing the realities and crash you and crash a wave into and crash you to the floor and make a wave of emotion crash into you until you don't know, until you get whirled around like in a wave in the ocean and you don't know where up and down is. Exactly. So that's where it is. That is personal development. What is being developed and how is this personal effort affecting you, making you more money? So personal development for entrepreneurs. How is this making you money? What are we developing? The personality that we're developing is who you present yourself as to the world. Overcoming this personally is called awakening. This character still remains, yet the personality vanishes. Self-help advice for business owners. As a business owner, you are likely to seek out self-help advice. But what is the self that we are helping? But how is this self-help actually helping you? So we need to define the outcome of self-help. Self-help means being empowered. It means that you are having the power to change your own life circumstances. Self-improvement tips for leaders. We need to define the outcome exactly. Self-improvement tips for leaders. A leader becomes a better leader when he is not being placed into the position of leadership, but when people choose him. And when they consciously and continuously affirm that he is fit for the leadership capacities assigned to him, espoused to him. Espouse is a great word, assign is also. Espouse, exactly. Being aware of your own thoughts. When you are aware of your own thoughts, you learn to also be aware of the thoughts of others. No, we should take this out. Espouse is not great. Being aware of your own thoughts. When you are aware of your own thoughts, you learn to also be aware of the thoughts of others. You start to develop the capacity to read people's thoughts by their actions, voice inflections, and facial expressions, which is a valuable skill for every leader, because with this you will be able to notice when unproductive thoughts are being thought by your employees. As a leader, you want to maximize the quantity and quality of thoughts that any given employee puts towards the outcome that they are trying to achieve. So when you are aware of your own thoughts, you start to become aware of the thoughts of others too. Unless you are aware of your own thoughts, you will not be able to be aware of other people's thoughts either. Becoming a better leader through self-work. So what does it mean to lead? It means to effortlessly direct the thoughts, feelings, and actions of your followers towards a common goal. This is a great piece of content. It means to be the person that people naturally follow because they sense that he is where they want to be. This can be internal or external. Leadership qualities that are increased through inner work. That means bringing your darkness to the light, making peace inside with yourself, your past actions or inactions, your failures, your desires, your body, your thoughts, and your emotions. Inner work means looking within to distinguish what is you and what is them that you see in other people. Inner work means to getting to love all of the parts of yourself. Inner work means aligning all of your thoughts, energies, and emotions and actions towards your one life goal. Inner work means distilling all your streams of desires into one powerful life goal. Inner work means shifting negativity towards positivity, shifting negative evaluations out for positive ones so that we evaluate what we perceive positively and so that we create the positive life. First through our will, then effortlessly through manifestation. Inner work means clearing out entanglements with relatives and past loved ones. Inner work means getting clear about what you want and why. Inner work means healing wounds. How to be a mindful leader. What does it mean to be mindful? Well, certainly not full of mind. Mindful is being active when you have less mind, less thought within you. Then you're being mindful when your mind kinda empty. So why would you want to be a mindful leader? Why is that desirable? How is this going to make you more money? Well, mindfulness helps you with emotional regulation. Mindfulness helps you with emotional control. Mindfulness helps you with motivating employees by being mindful of their own specialities. Mindfulness helps you as a leader to pick up on nuances and to read other people. This is an effect of increasing your mindfulness. So when you're in a meeting and you perceive certain tensions also between people and you can read the eye and you can say, hey, is there something? Is there something between you? Because as you know, within corporations, as they grow, there's all kinds of politics that need to be managed. And when you grow your company in the right way, meaning you address these things right from the beginning and you uproot the roots of the grassroots of these unhealthy things that are being practiced and driven deeper into your organization, when you address those easily and early, you will be able to get over that quickly. Leadership through self-awareness. As a leader, when you're not aware, other people become aware of your lack of self-awareness. As people generally rise in consciousness, in order to remain a leader, you need to be better than them for them to keep respecting you. Fortunately, it is easier than ever to be self-aware. It means that you are aware of who you are, which means as a prerequisite to that you have to know who you are. You can't be aware of something that you are not conscious of. So becoming conscious of your own patterns, your behavior patterns, your motivations, your trigger points becomes more and more important in the future as time and the development of AI progresses. The weak ones will be replaced, only strong leaders remain, only strong employees remain, which have adapted to AI. This will give you certainty among the developments so that you can always count on yourself to know what to do next. Self-awareness can be practiced in many ways. Want to know what they are? First, let's talk about what we're actually becoming aware of. Self-awareness means understanding yourself deeply inside of yourself. Self-awareness means you know what inside of you are your strengths and your weaknesses. When you understand this in the right way, people will naturally gravitate towards following you as their leader. Not just as one leader, but as their leader. From the beginning of time, leaders have been the most self-aware people of the pack. They also have been the strongest. So if you're not self-aware or strong, you will be placed in your role as leader by somebody who is. Having spent years of learning inside knowledge will not be enough anymore to compete. You have to be self-aware, you have to be self-conscious. You have to be conscious of the self, that egoic entity that you identify with, and move past it, or rather let it die. Dive deep below the waters of emotions and face the fear of suffocation underwater in order to be free. Order of freedom, in order to be free. What order does the mind have, or does the mind have any order at all? In becoming self-aware that are certain paths, you can become self-aware by understanding your own patterns, what makes you happy, proud, friendly, harsh, or criticizing. Generally speaking, what you tend to criticize in others is what you judge within yourself. This is self-work. What you like in others are the qualities that you have disidentified with. What you dislike in others are the qualities that you have disowned, pretending that they are not there. Personal growth for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, you want to be constantly growing because the business growth is capped by the limit of your capabilities as a leader. That means unless you grow as a leader, the business can't grow either. You need to grow in, number one, your belief of how much money you can make. Second, how easy it is to make that amount of money. Third, your beliefs about how much money you deserve as a leader. And fourth, your belief of how good as a leader you really are. Growth means growing stress tolerance. Growth means growing in personal belief and capability. Growth means growing in speed of thought. Growth means growing the ratio between productive and unproductive thought, meaning how much time do you spend verbalizing things in your mind that don't matter for your ultimate goal, and how many thoughts over how much time are you verbalizing about your ultimate objective in life. Growth means to grow your capacity to affect people with your words. Growth means growing your capacity to influence yourself. Growth means getting more done in the same time or getting more done in less time. Growth means optimizing your thoughts, your physiology and habits for less energy expenditure so that you can get more outcomes easier with the same energy that it took you before the big move obstacles. Personal growth explained. What is personal growth? Growing in the capacity to tolerate stress. Growing in skill level. Personal development strategies for business owners. What is tactic and what is strategy? Tactics are the actions of the directions, that is the strategy. The same tactics can apply in different directions. So strategy is the directions of where you want to take things. Tactics are the actions that you take, and it matters with that intention of how intensely you are taking these actions. Strategies, in turn, is where you want to take your personal development towards. So what do you want to develop and why? Self-mastery for entrepreneurs. What does it mean to master the self? First of all, mastering the self means mastering your urges, mastering your desires, and mastering your thoughts and emotions. For self-mastery, what matters is the balance between control and setting up an environment in which control is possible. Let me explain. Controlling your thoughts means first that you are aware of your thoughts, which is the first step of control. You cannot control anything that you are unaware of. Being able to control your thoughts means that you do what you want them to do. They shut up when you want them to. For that, it is necessary to understand the dynamic that thoughts are pointers. They call awareness to your conscious mind to resolve things, address things, or resolve unresolved issues. Controlling your mind means that you can replace negative and limiting thoughts with freeing and positive thoughts, and that your thoughts obey. For that to successfully occur, we need to understand why we think negative thoughts. Here's an array of options of why that happens. Negative thoughts can occur as a relief and release pattern. That means that you let go of repressed energy, stress, or physical tension through indulging in negativity. It is like crying or sex. You release tension and emotional load, and afterwards you feel relieved. Overcoming self-doubt as an entrepreneur. Self-doubt can come from various psychological reasons. It can come from not being as good as you say that you are. Then you need to check in with reality. Do you need to push and build belief, or do you really need to get more results? Self-doubt can also be the manifestation of a deeper psychological pattern. So when some thoughts, for example, were made in childhood that we can't trust ourselves or that there's something wrong with us, then self-doubt can be a manifestation of that. It is important to be able to clearly distinguish between these two types of self-doubt. Self-doubt can come from building trust as a leader. The question is, whom do we want to build trust with? In order to build trust, you need to be able to trust yourself and have confidence in yourself. When you are unsure of an endeavor, or even worse, of yourself as a person and your capabilities as a leader, then other people will doubt. Unless you believe, other people won't believe it either, and then it won't become real. And then there's the question, what do you want to build the trust for? Trust requires faith. To be trusted, you need to be trusting. The faith that is required to trust employees is a reflection of the trust that you have for yourself. How to enhance decision-making skills. As a leader, the better decisions you make, the more money you make. And better decisions mean more good decisions faster and less bad decisions. What is a good decision? A good decision means that you're getting the outcome you wanted, and a good decision means aligning the resources required with the outcome that you want. A bad decision is getting you further from the outcome. Decision-making skills that are impacted by inner work. For that reason, inner work makes you more money because it improves your decision-making skills. In learning emotional control, you make decisions rationally, with emotion and intuition as secondary factors, but not as the dominant ones. So in facing your fears inside, of your darkness, the dark abyss, the silence of letting thoughts disappear and sinking into the unknown, you have less fear overall, and then fear won't stop you from making the decision of following through on it. Decision-making abilities are increased. Resolving inner conflicts for business owners. Resolving inner conflicts is making you more money. Living conflicted is costing you potential earnings and make you lose more money. Let me explain. Inner conflicts are the experience of being torn in two different directions. Something that you want and something that you don't want. When there's something that you want and something that you don't want, you experience an inner conflict. Inner conflicts can come from being pulled into one direction because you need an energetic release. But there's something else that you need to do. You want to work, but you cannot focus. You need to work, but you don't want to feel like you need to rest. You need to work, but you don't want to, and you feel like you need to rest. All of that lowers your capacity to bring the outcomes that you do. And how is that going to look in front of your employees? Self-healing for business owners. What does healing mean and how does it make you money? Healing means becoming whole, meaning that there are no schisms in your psyche. All energies, desires, and past memories are successfully integrated. When you are whole, you have a higher attraction as a leader. The integration is shown and can be witnessed in your energetic radiance, drawing followers to you. And the people that have been assigned to follow you do so on their own accord because they energetically sense that you have something that they don't, which is integration and healing. A lot of people, in fact most people, carry their wounds into their adult lives. That is why they remain dependent emotionally, financially, or even physically in the form of an unhealthy habit that meets emotional needs in an unhealthy way or even an addiction. When you heal yourself, it means that you close the gaps within your psyche. Effective leadership through self-healing. In order to lead, you need to be a leader where the follower senses that following you and taking instructions from you will be benefiting them. In order to lead effectively, you need to be respected. This is a great piece of content. How does self-healing make you money? When you are a better leader, your business runs more efficiently. You set an example and raise the standard of the whole team. You set a higher standard for your direct reports to aspire up to, and they in turn set the standard for the employees working below them. Through healing yourself, you were able to set an example of what an integrated leader looks like, behaves like, sounds like, and feels like, in the sense of how they feel emotionally when they are around you. In order to heal, you need to understand what it is exactly that you are healing inside of yourself. What are the psychological phenomena that you need to address in order to be a better leader? There are different kinds of wounds that we need to heal. Healing always happens as a result of inputs of work. It is not an outcome that can be forced. But when you take good actions that aid the healing is likely to occur. In the same way as a cut heals, it is the reconnection of two parts that belong together. Being together is their natural state, and the split that has been caused, the occurrence heals on its own when it is not being interfered with. That's the natural and important process. In that way, healing is a natural process and it goes without your doing. All you need to do is to identify the healing processes that are already happening and stop interfering with them. So in the same way as the cut heals by itself, the emotional wound that needs healing are healing by themselves. All we need to do is to allow the healing to happen. When you believe the scab was some kind of malicious fungus growing on your wound, you would be very distraught and try to peel it off, making the healing process never complete. Yes, I am combining the free school community posts from Incantation Nation with the posts that I have already written and repurposed them to post them into the community that I am part of. Positivity is ROI positive. It helps you make more money. It helps you spend less time on things that you don't enjoy. It helps you spend more time on the things that you enjoy. How to stop self-sabotage. Self-sabotage happens when there are two conflicting motivations inside of a person at the same time. One motivation is to protect, the other one is to expand. One is to be safe, the other one is to be loved. One is to be special, the other one is to feel connected. Self-sabotage happens when we unconsciously pull back whenever there's the pursuit of a goal. Positivity is ROI positive. What contributes to a lack of positivity? Physical distress, eating and sleeping habits. Fixing the inner phenomena that make you eat and sleep in this way brings you out of balance. You make better decisions. You make faster decisions. You act more on the decisions that you made. You feel you deserve more. It is unlikely that a negative state is being triggered that will energetically sabotage your success when negativity comes your way. The stronger the positivity habit is and the stronger and longer your streak is, the more resistant are you to negative from the outside that comes your way by other people. Belief is ROI positive. When you believe, you speak with conviction. You can pump yourself up and transfer this belief to others because you have a reference experience of what believing in yourself really feels like. Belief lets you transfer this conviction to your employees so that you will have less fights. Friends, including spouse. Isolation is a depressant. It invariably will lower your mood. As an introvert, you may enjoy solitude, but isolation means you want the contact, but you don't have any. Friends help you hold yourself to a standard. Friends are a sounding board for ideas. Friends help you stay on course of action with your values, and friends just help you. Action, the most important piece. It is the action that life changes. Even without positivity, belief in friends, you can change your life. But the hazard is that you will unconsciously take the wrong actions or actions that are related to coping whenever you are not positive and convinced. We want to take the right actions in the right way at the right time. These are the 4 fundamentals of personal development. If you feel inclined to the direction of the law of attraction, positivity and belief will raise your vibration and enable you to receive ideas, insights, and help that are resonant with the energy that you hold. You will unconsciously reject higher vibe opportunities, and the mind will find a way to justify it if you are not in a high vibe state. That is why positivity is crucially important. If you feel inclined to the direction of no excuses, hard work, get strong and achieve through breaking through your fear, then you will find that people you surround yourself with are a key factor in being as strong as you can be. Because you yourself can only be your strongest when you are fighting as a team. Positivity and self-belief will not only help you to work your hardest, you will also spend less time in low energy states where excuses need to be battled. So you don't need to spend your energy fighting your excuses, fight to progress instead. When you truly embody positivity and belief, you will get access to people you wouldn't normally have access to because they respect you for it. Being negative and selfish is easy. Being positive and believing in oneself so much that it shows is difficult because it doesn't come naturally. It needs to be trained, and that is what people respect you for. Great piece of content. Great piece of content. So if you feel inclined to the direction of healing work to improve your life, by working on being more positive and believing, you are less likely to enter into negative states that could reinvigorate a trauma response. Now the trauma reinvigorates the state. Reinvigorate is a great word that we are going to keep. You handle your daily tasks easier, which leaves you less exhausted at the end of the day. Positivity. Positivity is one metric that we measure throughout the day. So why do we focus on positivity then? Positivity is ROI positive. Positivity will help you make your life better. Positivity is worth it because you make decisions faster. Negativity makes you take more egoistic motivations and worries into account. It takes you longer to think through decisions and gather the data to make the decisions. Positivity saves time on each decision made from this state. You make the same decisions in the same time and can make more decisions and get more done. You make better decisions. You are more likely to act upon the decisions that you made. You can see things from a larger perspective, helping you come up with more creative solutions to the problems in your life. In negativity, you are inside yourself. In positivity, you are more likely to take employees and customers into account. Others are more likely to say yes to what you ask. You feel more deserving because you feel that way you know you want to feel. You feel more deserving because to make an ask and accept because you feel good about yourself. That's why positivity is so important. You have more energy because negativity uses up a lot of energy, whereas positivity generates energy from within. It is easier to convey ideas, to come up with creative ways to convince somebody and say the right things in the right moment. Your voice inflection, facial expressions, body language, words, clothing, pauses, etc. all match to convey the message, whereas in negativity, since the energy supply is used up for rumination inside of you, don't have the energy to place the energy towards positivity. Benefits of positivity. Your entire life integrates. You are in a better mood. Your vibration raises. You attract better people because you have a quality that people want for themselves. You attract higher quality solutions because you don't drop into negativity that easily. Negativity is also a state associated with powerlessness, with excuses, and with blame. Feeding into this state until it has fully taken over the entire energy, it will make you more likely that you don't come up with creative solutions and much rather come up with statements and perspectives of powerlessness and lack of resources. Great piece of content. Especially in these times where software solutions are abundant, there is a way to solve every existing problem in your life and your business. Positivity is key. Positivity is king. When you are positive, you come up with more creative solutions to the problems in your life. You're more likely to act upon those solutions. Overcoming the friction of inaction is easier when you are positive and in a high vibrational state. Have you ever been in a really deep negative state and somebody tried to make you laugh or cheer you up? It probably took a while for you to let go of the resistance to this state. And this is because we tend to do only actions that are consistent with the way that we feel. It is a practice to get over yourself and get out of these negative states quickly and into an action-taking mode. When you are positive, you tend to not only find better solutions, but you are open yourself up to a high vibrational solution and ideas. Think about that. In a low vibrational state, only low vibrational ideas resonate. When you are in a low energy state of worthlessness, talking to people, asking for help, abstracting from the problem, and seeing it as the bigger picture as well as empathy, and seeing things from somebody else's point of view is not easy. But because these actions and mental states are not consistent with a lower vibrational state, you will receive better ideas in this state. You will be more likely to act on these ideas because there's less friction and changing from ruminating into action taking. These actions that you take will be less about you and more about other people, which is the key in order to make your situation change and have the change last. You are able to take on a different perspective when you are positive. You can see the situation in the perspective of the whole. You have a more integrated understanding of the workings of life. You are more likely to cheer other people on and want them to feel good also. Whereas when you are in a negative state, you don't want to face the fact that you are not feeling as good as other people. You don't want to face the fact that you are not feeling as good as other people, and you are likely to avoid others, and you are less likely to share positivity because you have none of it inside of you. Great piece of content. So you're going to be more respected when you're positive. People want to feel like you and to an extent be like you. This helps in leadership, persuasion and sales and in many other areas. You are more likely to attract high quality people as friends who are also positive and who are lifting you up, creating a flywheel spiral that reinforces itself. This helps in leadership and persuasion and sales and in many other areas. You are more likely to attract high quality people as friends who are also positive and who are lifting you up, creating a flywheel that reinforces itself, creating a flywheel spiral that reinforces itself. Because positivity generates energy, more energy shows up when you are positive. When you are positive, we have better communications because we are more likely to see things from somebody else's point of view. When we are negative in turn, we have lower energy altogether. Think of it as a reservoir that is not full as it could be. When we are negative, we tend to push away the things we really want in our lives because we feel that we don't deserve them. When we are negative, we do actions that are not consistent with a high vibrational positive state that made outcomes occur in the past and that have gotten us to where we are, which means that oftentimes the negative state makes us prone to take actions that are pushing all that we have built out of our lives. Friends, it is important to set ourselves up with a social system so that we can focus on work instead of being distracted by trying to meet our social needs or the need for love and connection. Oftentimes, even walks in nature, leisure activities, etc. for many people are a substitute for real connection, so they spend many hours in these leisure activities. You can think of it as a different phone charging cable, one of those low quality ones that doesn't charge the phone quite as fast. Those low quality ways of getting connection oftentimes feel empty because we are trying to fill our needs in a way that doesn't fill them, but just approximates the feeling of having these needs met. When we find ways to meet our needs for connection and love through true friends among our spouse, the following benefits occur. Your friends tend to hold you to a higher standard. Your friends will call you on confusion and excuses. Your friends, when they are quality ones, will help you out in situations. Benefits of energetic realignment. Coping behaviors that you take involuntarily are falling away. When you are going to not waste the time and energy on this activity, you are also going to lose out on the energy you could have placed into skills or relationships that could have grown but didn't. And since growth compounds, you will lose out on the future growth, and this loss can be massive. How many times have you lost out on opportunities and lost out on a lot of money because of this? When opportunity meets preparation, riches accumulate over time. But when preparation is missing, the opportunity is being passed up and cannot fully be leveraged, you are missing out on all the compound growth that you could have had. And the negative behavior is suppressing your energy. So you're losing energy now, and you're losing the energy potential that you could have had in the future. It lowers your vibration, budges your positivity. All of these incremental improvements make a massive difference over the course of a lifetime into the future. It lowers your belief, and it affects your relationships. Energetic imbalances are being discovered. Energetic sounds so elusive. We all have different energies running through us. Elusive is a great word that we will keep remembering. But we all have different energies running through us. There is, for example, emotional energy. You know it when you are emotionally charged or when you feel emotionally empty. You know probably what the energy of sadness, defeat, or regret feels like, or what anxiety feels like. These are emotional energies. Then there's mental energy. You probably know from time of your life when you studied for an exam what it feels like to be mentally fatigued at the end of a day. You may be physically tired also, but it can also be that your mental energy is depleted, but your body wants to move. Have you had a situation like this in your life? You know what sexual frustration feels like, or sexual exhaustion or satiation when you have had a lot. You know that what it's like when you're being physically full of energy as opposed to feeling physically tired. Even if you have felt physically full for a long time, you know that it is possible to feel this way because there are people who are full of life and others who are constantly tired. There is also creative energy. When you feel like you're not really creating anything in the work you do, people might find a creative outlet elsewhere. That can be fixing a car or cooking or something generally known as creative or art. When I say it like that, it makes sense, right? These energies need to be in movement. They need healthy expression, which can also mean transmutation, meaning doing something else with the energy that is good for you. Chopping wood, exercising, singing, even shouting or cleaning up things that annoy you are good expressions of anger. Sexual energy can be transmuted into creativity or exercise, or making an effort to show you love in a non-sexual way. Mental energy can be used to ruminate and beat yourself up, or to plan, communicate, or read, etc. These energies need to be in balance. When they are not, we either find another outlet for these energies, or they become suppressed, and then other kinds of imbalances occur. Resolving the causes for these imbalances is a substantial part of my work. So what are these causes? They can be beliefs of what is or is not appropriate, what expression or energy is or isn't in alignment with who you are, what had been rewarded early in life and what hasn't, etc. So we also have emotional needs that, depending on what you had been our filter for love, can connect with these energies. When there is, for example, behaviors like our system has remembered as being effective in restoring an imbalance to balance, we are likely to go back to it. For example, when somebody wants to stop drinking or masturbating or eating donuts, etc., but due to the belief, etc., his energies are blocked, so that the charge rises and rises. Eventually the system will give in the form of loss of willpower, and the behavior will occur again, because the system remembers the behavior as a sure way to restore balance. Great piece of content. Great piece of content. Nice. For that reason, oftentimes, when we believe we need to overcome a behavior, what is often missing in order to sustain the change in behavior is to understand what it serves psychologically and energetically to rearrange the life circumstances so that there is no need for the behavior anymore. Then it still will take a conscious decision, because even if a slight emotion comes up that is linked to the behavior, thoughts will appear that suggest doing the behavior or just one more time, etc. Our mind, when the system is in continuous imbalance, and the imbalance is rising because we don't understand yet what's creating it, our mind will find a way to justify what our system needs. More willpower then is not the solution. So using the willpower is necessary, but it will only be successful when the behavior is removed as the only way to restore balance, or when the imbalance is resolved. This is a great piece of content. This is a great piece of content. Let's go. And this is what I call energetic realignment. We work in the seminar to align your energies so that all of your energies are flowing into the right actions and directions and serve your ultimate purpose in life. That doesn't mean that all you do is only one-dimensional work. It can also mean spending these energies in ways that nurture you and keeps you healthy and in balance. So my work is centered around the principle of balance. Balance is not static state, it is equilibrium. I understand balance as a pendulum. That's how I oftentimes like to explain that. So the lowest point where the pendulum would rest is the point of equilibrium. But in reality, life is movement, isn't it? So it is a movement in and out of balance towards the two extreme points. When we go too far out of balance, the invisible forces of life, in this, for example, gravity, are going to pull you back to the point of equilibrium, to the point of balance. But because of the inertia and the momentum, it will go into the other extreme. That's why all of our energies have rebounds. So if you do nothing but mental effort for 5 days straight, you can expect half a day, 1 day, 2 or 3 days even of needing to rebound, where your mind cannot really do that well anymore, right? So it's always in and out, and the art of life is to spend your energies, to maneuver your energies in a way that you don't get out of balance so much. Because let's take this example, when you, instead of 5 days, you go for like 15 days and you're like hammering it hard. It may be that you're then so out of balance that you not only need to rest your mind, but you also need to rest your body, or maybe you even manufacture a sickness in order for your entire system to calm down. That's what we want to prevent, because that's costing us much more time in the long term. So these energies will not change. They are part of life. They are part of being human, just like gravity is an invisible force that you just gotta learn how to adjust to, or else you're gonna get hurt by life. Or else you're going to get hurt by the lack of understanding of how life works. So if you haven't built healthy ways to balance these energies, you will invariably be drawn to unhealthy ways. If you haven't found a way to let these energies flow into the activities you want to flow and achieve balance, that way they will go elsewhere to be balanced. And so when that is the case, or harshness towards somebody else who suffers from that is, what is helping us is giving an understanding of how these dynamics work and real help in the way that I just explained. Balance. My work is centered around the principle of balance. Balance is not a static state of equilibrium. I understand balance as a pendulum. The lowest point where the pendulum would rest is the point of equilibrium. But in reality, life is movement, isn't it? So it is a movement in and out of balance towards the two towards the two extreme points. When we go too far out of balance, the invisible forces of life pull us back into balance. So why do I procrastinate? Procrastination comes from fear. We are fearful of what the outcome of the action would mean to us emotionally. So oftentimes these emotions that we are trying to avoid are related to status. So how we are being perceived in society based on what we do, how we look and how we act. Procrastination is the result of fear, fearful action. So when we procrastinate, there are different types of procrastinators. But the question is not so much how do I procrastinate, why do I procrastinate, but what do I need to do in order to make it stop? Procrastination comes from fear. It is the fear of what it would mean to us emotionally, either the action taking in itself or the implications for our status and perception in society among our friends, or what the outcome would mean to us. How to stop self-sabotage. In order to find out how to stop self-sabotage, we need to find out what self-sabotage actually is and why it happens. Once we understand why it happens, we can properly address it. Positivity. Welcome to Self-Optimization Nation. This is the first section, positivity. So why do we focus on positivity and why is it important for your life? How will it benefit you and what will you get out of it when you are positive? Positivity is ROI positive. That means you get more out than what you put in order to get, be and stay positive. And we are measuring the positivity that you are feeling with our revolutionary lifesuccess.app so that you can easily enter your data and track your progress on your path to being as positive as you can and have fun regardless. Positivity is ROI positive. That means that you get out more than what you put in. This is good. What do you need to put in order to be positive? Well, first we cut out everything that triggers negativity. Then we train our mind and emotions towards positivity. And then we resolve imbalances within ourselves so that we are not drawn into negativity because of secondary gains. But first of all, why are we negative in the first place? What does negativity solve? Well, negativity comes easy. It is easy to look at the negative, especially when we have trained ourselves and learned to look at the negative constantly, because this is likely what our parents or caretakers or the people that surrounded ourselves with, that we grew up with. But negativity can serve much more subtle purposes than just being automatic. Oftentimes, we are negative because we surround ourselves with negative people and we do not want to upset them. When we are positive, which is what they also would want to be, we fear that we might offend them and in so doing lose the friendship, which feels scary because it is probably a source of connection, if not love, for us. We can be negative because negativity helps us release stored emotional charges in our system. When we sit all day or work in a way where we don't express ourselves, emotional charges get piled up. Negativity expressed as anger-related emotions may help us release tension from holding on to the emotions, and sadness-related emotions may help us feel connected to ourselves and soothe ourselves in that process. We can be negative because it is an emotional feedback mechanism of how well our life is working or not. Belief. Self-belief is ROI positive. That means that you get more out than what you put in. To develop and maintain the self-belief, it is an emotional state of certainty that A, it is worth it to you, B, you can do it, and C, you can do it additionally to what you are already doing and nothing in your life is going to be negatively affected. Self-belief is an emotional state of certainty that we can achieve a certain outcome. Sadly though, a lot of people, the vast majority I would say, know the state of being certain about something when they feel competent and know from experience and evidence in the past that they can do that and that they're going to be good at it and that they can handle whatever challenge is going to arise on the path of taking this action. Self-belief is a state of certainty that says, I can do anything that I set my mind to. When we believe in ourselves, we believe that we can do it and that we are going to be good at it. Belief orients ourselves. Think of it as a preconceived notion about what things mean in the world. A belief can be triggered by sensation. A sensation with evaluation becomes perception. So when the sensation is being related to ourselves, then it becomes a perception. Do not judge what's happening. Self-optimization nation. So what does self-optimization mean? Well, when you're optimizing yourself, it means that you take what you have and you make the best of it. In these times, where times go fast, we need to be betting on the strength that we already have. And I'm a master of utilizing RPM and interventions as the tools that I teach in my free school community, Self-Optimization Nation. This is not for people who say, hurrah, COVID is over. This is for people who have an existing work routine and desire to deepen it. What we're going to do, RPM, interventions, and accountability, this is for people who want to seriously level up in 2025. Self-optimization. All right, easy.